And hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Kent Holste Podcast right here on KentHolstePodcast.com and as well as the YouTube channel. I'm so glad that you decided to click that link and join in the conversation and hopefully enjoying this topic about what makes you feel good inside. There's so many things in my life that makes me feel good. Thinking about memories, about past experiences, maybe people that I've interacted with. But what makes me feel good inside is spending time with people that I care about and I love. And yes, a lot of that is people like you who come to this podcast, that go to the website. You know, that makes me feel good inside. But more specifically, I think about the times that I've spent, with family. And there's so many memories about growing up that make me feel good inside, especially with thinking about going to Kansas every summer and going to the farms and just playing in the barns and hay barns and going out into the pasture or, and just playing on the four-wheelers and all that good stuff. Those memories make me feel good inside. But also what makes me feel good inside is having the ability to have a good home-cooked meal. I don't know about you, but there's a big difference from when you go out to eat all the time. And don't get me wrong, there's plenty of places that make me feel good when I go and eat their food. But sometimes there's that specific meal that you make, and it just hits home. It makes you feel warm inside. Maybe it's that nice bowl of chili, or maybe it's a meal that it's been handed down from generation to generation in your family. Those make you feel good. But what also makes me feel good inside is the ability to talk about my feelings and my thoughts with people that I trust, people that I can rely on and know that they're going to give me the feedback that not only do I want to hear, but also I don't want to hear. It makes me feel good when I know that I got people behind me that supports me. It's not about having that pat on the back, but it's more important to me, it's more important to have those people that are there that don't feel obligated to, that stand by you and go, yeah, this guy's a good guy. And it makes you always feel good to know when people value you and appreciate you, right? I know it does to me. And so, let's talk about this today. What makes you feel good inside? Not just inside, but just what makes you feel good in general. Put that in the comment spot on this YouTube video, on the YouTube channel, and we'll see what conversations pop up on this one today. Have you seen the Kent Holste Podcast website yet? Well, check it out today. It's at www.KentHolstePodcast.com. It's more than just podcasts. There's interviews, blogs, news, sports talk, circle of friends, and so much more. So what are you waiting for? Check it out right now. It's at www.KentHolstePodcast.com. What also makes me feel good is thinking about the times that I've shared with my kids. My kids are something that I think about on a daily basis, probably more than anything in this world. They're on the cover of my phone. They're on the cover of my computer. They are my pride and joy. And if you have kids, you can relate. You can understand the significance that they bring into your life. They are that feel-good moment. And I've said this many, many times, especially to my kids. I can remember each and every birth. I can remember in detail about what happened, how they came to be. Sitting in that hospital rooms, waiting and experiencing all the drama that comes with having a child. And I don't mean bad drama, the drama of just waiting, the delays, the unexpected things that happen that cause issues that they have to try to work around. You know, most of my kids were born naturally, but the last couple of my kids were born via cesarean. And I wasn't able to be in the room, and that was my choice and my fault and my decision, because I got a weak stomach and I don't know. Plus, it was better for the sister-in-law at the time to kind of be in there to support, because there were some complications. And so, you know, besides that, it's the feel-good moments of that first cry that you hear. It's the first moments that you get to hold your child. Those are the feel-good moments that you never forget. And this might be a good time. What was it like when you had your kids, if you've had kids? Talk about that moment. Talk about that first time that you got to hear that cry. The first time you got to hold your child, and what feelings and experiences did you feel? Those feel-good moments. And how did that affect your life? You know, having a child can be a good thing for some, but for others, it can be a difficult one. You know, for me, I was a product of an adoption. My birth mother had me when she was 16 years old. Well, she conceived when she was 16, but had me when she was 17. And she had the very tough decision to make whether to keep or to adopt. But the good thing is she didn't even think of abortion. Abortion was not even in the cards for her because of what she believed. She knew that she did what she did, and she wanted to make sure that she could find a family. In fact, I was just talking to my birth mom the other day, and she was sharing the story about how she struggled to find people to adopt. She was heavily involved in the process. But a family friend of my adoptive family were a part of my birth mom's life. They were teachers in Libby, and they suggested this family in Kalispell who was unable to have more kids, and they knew how important it was for her to find a Christian family. And, you know, her feel-good moment was knowing that she found two people that were loving and caring. She told me that when she got to meet my birth parents, she was very, very impressed. And she knew right then and there that that's the family that deserved to adopt me. And so hearing that was a feel-good moment for me, because I enjoy hearing about my adoption. There's not a moment that I've lived in my life where I haven't wished I could know more about it. But here I am, 36 years old. I found my birth mom when I was 18 years old. another feel-good moment in my life. But even though it's been that many years, I'm still finding out new stories and information about what happened. And the more I find out, those are more moments that I cherish. Those are my feel-good moments. And for a long time, those moments that I didn't know about were my sad moments in my life, where they brought me down. I let them bring me down. And that's the thing. In the midst of our times when we are struggling and we are feeling down, we have to find these feel-good moments to build us up. It's more than what makes us happy. It's more than what makes us, live life in a more positive way. You have to have feel-good moments. You have to feel good about yourself. You have to figure out now and then why those moments are so important, why they are so special. There's been other times in my life where I've had feel-good moments, like the moment when I got my first vehicle. It was a beat-up old 1995 Buick Century. Yeah, it was a grandma car, I know, but I loved it. I straight piped it, tried to make it look cool. Well, sound cool at least. Another feel-good moment is when I got my dream car. It wasn't the exact model, but I got a Ford Mustang. It was a 1984. And if you're familiar with Mustangs, the 84s were not the typical look and style that they always were. But I was still happy I had one. Straight piped that one as well. Put side exhaust on it. It was pretty cool. I'm sure the neighbors didn't like it, but it was still cool to me. Those are the feel-good moments that I enjoy thinking about. The good times, the times that we laugh, the times that we sometimes and more often share with other people. A prime example of that is just the other day I was talking to, guess who? Yeah, Austin, the guy that I talk a lot about on here, my best friend. Austin and I were reminiscing about stuff the other day. And the more that we talked, the more that we just spent laughing. Something he's very good at. Those feel-good moments of when we just take the time to just stop what we're doing and just laugh. And it's funny. There's not one moment that we can talk about where we don't find some sort of humor in it. Because Austin has a good way of twisting things into making you laugh. And that's one of the things I value about our friendship. He's always been able to do that. But there's so many times in our life where we don't think about those things when we need to. So here's another question for you to put in the comment spot. Why is it so tough to think about these moments when we're struggling? Why is it difficult for us to find these ways out of being so down and depressed? When there's been so many moments in our lives where we can look back and just laugh and chuckle and go, man, I can't believe we did that. Something to think about, right? Are you looking for a positive place to join a great community? Well, go to the Kent Holste Podcast website, where you can find Circle of Friends. This is a page to be supportive by sharing special events that are positive or even letting others pray for you. A place that people can come together without fear of being judged, no matter race or disabilities. A time to be a part of that person that takes the time to care for others when it's needed most. We are all not just friends, we are family. It's Circle of Friends on the Kent Holste Podcast website. Check it out today. Another thing that makes me feel good is thinking about the times when I got married. I think about the times when I had to prepare before everything started, that sense of nervousness that you get. Like, am I going to remember what to say? Am I going to stutter, or am I going to cry? Am I going to be able to hold back the tears of happiness? There's been different places that I've been married. I've been married in a courtroom. I've been married in a church. I've been married, out in a backyard, which was really cool. But the one that really was like that feel-good moment was, at a church camp that I grew up at. That was a really cool time because I had my coworker who was my best man. He was really, really cool. But, yeah, it was just a good time. We had all of our family. My kindergarten teacher played the piano, who was a family friend. We've talked about her many times on my podcast, and her husband, the late Mr. and Mrs. Ludwig. But she later remarried, and after Mr. Ludwig passed away. But there's that moment of, being in a place that had so much value and so many other memories, and to add another one was a feel-good moment at that time too. So I don't know about you in your past relationships, if there's been those feel-good moments, and if they are, share them too. But I think within our relationships, there's tons of moments that we don't think about, that we refuse to think about because we would rather be upset about our past, or upset about situations that, made us frustrated or angry. But that's where it comes to, that you need to think about those feel-good moments of when you were happy. And you need to think about whether those feel-good moments are more important or less important than the times of when you're not, when you're angry, you're frustrated. Are they legit or are they not? For me, sometimes my frustrations within relationships have been over ridiculous things that didn't matter, that didn't make sense. And then there were there were times and incidences where they did make sense, that I did screw up, that I didn't value those good moments enough, those feel good moments, to just be satisfied. And I think that's an issue that we sometimes have in our life, is we're not always satisfied enough. We're always searching and looking for more. We can never just be happy. Because after all, why are you with that person? Or why did you invest your life into another person if you didn't have a feel-good feeling? It just doesn't go away. It's still there. Sometimes you have to pull yourself away and reinvest into those feel-good moments that you've had before to rekindle the times that are hard. Sometimes you need those feel-good moments to lift up those spirits that you're lacking, and remind yourself just how lucky you are to have what you have. That's sometimes what happens. Sometimes you just need that. You need to think about those feel-good moments. You need to think about those times that you don't think about enough. And why don't we? Is it really that hard to think about what's really important? Is it really that hard to think about the good times, especially if you truly feel something special and unique about the person that you're with? You got to make opportunities to reflect. You got to make opportunities to look back on those times. And I know that we've talked about looking back. I know we've talked about memories and positivity and just all these other things. And this could go along with the topic of fear. Maybe we fear looking at the memories that we once had because, we think in our minds so much of the negative that we think that there's no possibility of no more good coming from things. There won't be any more good feelings, those good times left. And it's because you don't try. It's because you don't search hard enough. It's because you give up too easily because that's what you are used to. Or, I don't know. There could be many different situations that get involved that make it tough to find what makes you feel good. But maybe that's why you need to look for someone to join in with your relationship as far as a therapist or a pastor that can help you find what makes you feel good about each other. Something to think about. But there's so many other incidences that happen that we look back on and go, okay, it makes me feel good, but it shouldn't make me feel good. Because there's people out there that reflect on the things that they've done within their addictions, and they think that those are their feel-good moments. But it's not. Those are what led you to the life that you're at that wasn't very positive at all. So how could those be your feel-good moments? I've seen it. I've heard it. People brag and they boast about the stuff that they did with drugs, and they laugh as if it was something they're proud about. How could you be proud about something like that, where it's taken away things out of your life? I don't get it. But the thing is, we have to look at the good. We have to think about what makes us feel happy and good inside. Otherwise, we're going to have those moments where we give in, we give up, we give into our addictions, and we start doing things that we later regret. But it dumbfounds me how people can turn that into their feel-good moments. Because it's just something that affects their mind, and it just makes them feel good. And that's what is the problem. It doesn't make you feel good if you think about it, because you later regret it. You later think to yourself, well, why did I do that? Why did I let myself go that far? It's a good question. Something to think about, right? Are you looking for a positive change in your life? Well, I encourage you to go to the Kent Holste Podcast website, where there's a link called Positive Lifestyles by Holste. There, you can find products from Q Sciences and Herbalife. Products such as skincare, weight loss, and also products to help you get a good night's rest, pain relief, and so much more. Check it out today. It's on the Kent Holste Podcast website at www.kentholste.com/positive lifestyles by Holste. So as as we wind things down on another podcast here on KentHolsteyPodcast.com, I can't help but think that another feel-good moment is like what's coming up this weekend. Feel-good moments of holidays and time spent with family and friends. Maybe it's Christmas. Maybe it is Easter. Maybe it is the 4th of July. There's so many times that we are offered right in front of us those feel-good moments. I know for me, I like fire. I like fireworks. And there's no better feeling out there than lighting something up and watching it explode. I don't know. I just love it. I've always been a pyro guy. I like it. It's the thrill. It's the excitement. It's that feel-good moment, right? And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that like that same feeling too. But I hope today I talked about something that maybe got that spark in your mind to think about just how much more you need to think what makes you feel good and how you can rekindle those things that make you feel good. Because there's a lot of us who feel depressed, who feel like there's nothing out there that can make us happy. We think that in order for us to be happy, we need other people, which can be true, but it can't be the sole answer. The true happiness that you truly need is within yourself. I've heard it many times, even with my life. People have said, before you can be happy with other people, you need to be happy with yourself. So you need to find what makes you feel good and what makes you feel happy. And maybe it's more time spending with your kids, your spouse, your friends, but don't overdo it. Don't overdo it, especially with friends. If you got family, don't overdo it. Your family comes first. Your kids come first. I've talked about this before. There's a thing that my family taught me at a young age, the word joy. And if you're not familiar with what joy stands for Jesus first, others second, yourself last. Jesus should be your main focus. He should be your feel-good moment. Your family, and then yourself. You have to have that feel-good moment within your relationship with God. And even if you don't believe in God, there's some sort of power that you gotta believe in. We're not just here and been created out of nothing. But it's others. The friendships. The things that we do to create new opportunities, those good moments in our life, our feel-good moments, are with others. We have to treat others with respect and create those good moments with them. So when you look back, those are your feel-good moments. Because there's going to be times in your life where you're going to look back and go, man, I'm so glad that I became friends with so-and-so. I'm so glad I took that risk, that chance by going up to that person and having that feel-good moment where I got the job because I put myself out there. There's so many feel-good moments out there that we look back on. And maybe it's those feel-good moments when you went to your first sporting event. Mine, professionally, was a Kansas City Royals baseball game with my mom's family. We went to Kansas City. We went to a baseball game. We sat right behind the dugouts. And I'll never forget it. It was the Kansas City Royals versus the Orioles. And of course, at that time, Cal Ripken Jr. was playing. And it was a great game. I remember sitting there and having ice cream in a Kansas City baseball cap and it was so good. I remember the laughter and just the time having with my grandparents and my cousins. It was a good time. It was a feel-good moment. So I encourage you today, if you haven't had an opportunity to do so, think about what makes you feel good. Talk about it. Share what those times have been. Because if they feel good, obviously you're proud about it, right? Obviously you're excited to share those memories because they mean something to you, right? Maybe it is about your kids being born. Maybe it is that feel-good moment of when you worked your first job or got your first promotion. Maybe it's that relationship, that first marriage, and hopefully your last marriage, right? Maybe it's the memories of just going on road trips, going to a lake, a cabin. There's so many feel-good places and moments that we've had, and we really need to think about them. We need to think about what they mean to us. And how can we pass those feel-good moments on to other people that we care about? Because we can create new feel-good moments every single day. You just have to try. You have to attempt to do it. Because the more we create these feel-good moments, the more that we can look back on and think about those are what makes me feel good, then we're doing the right things. We're going the right way. We're not going the wrong way. We're going the right way. You know, my feel-good moment is when I get to come home and relax and reflect on my day. And I pull out my phone, or even throughout the day when I look at my phone and I see the picture of the last photo I have with all my kids together. And I think about each and every one of them. And before I go to bed, I reflect on how much each and every one of my kids mean to me. I pray about them. I hope that they're doing good and making the best out of their life and creating feel-good moments for themselves, right? That's what we need to do. Because every time I do that and I reflect about my kids and I think about those feel-good moments, it sure makes me sleep a lot easier than thinking about things that stress me out or thinking about things that are just not relevant at that moment, at least. So think about that. The question that you can also, or the answer that you can put on the comment spot is, what are you going to do today to create more feel-good moments in your life? What opportunities are you going to give yourself to let that happen? And why is it important today that, for you at least, you start thinking about what makes you feel good when you need to, in those moments of weakness, when you're feeling down, lonely, afraid, hurt? Why is it important? What could it do for your life? So put that in the comment spot. So make sure, if you like this topic today, you like it, maybe you even feel like you got to share it, please do that. Let other people know about this topic. Most of all, please comment. And please, if you haven't done so yet, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I can't stress that enough, how important that is. And ring that bell too if you can, because that way you get all the notifications when new videos pop up. And then also, please remember to think and be positive today. Do what you can, not what you can't, to think about those feel-good moments in your life and see the good that can happen when you reflect on all those things that make you smile and laugh. Think about that. I believe in you. Don't you think you should too? And if you see someone who served our country, whether it be military, police, fire, medical, if they've served our country, take that quick second. Give them an elbow, give them a fist bump. Tell them how much you appreciate them. You never know how much they might appreciate that. It all has to do with kindness. So be kind to one another. Because right there is a feel-good moment. When you're being kind and you can see the good that it's doing to them, that is a feel-good moment. So create another one today. Thank you for listening. I appreciate each and every one of you. You're not just my friends, you're my family. Enjoy this weekend. If you haven't had a chance to, attend a Good Friday service. I saw my churches today and it was breathtaking. It was amazing. So take the time to do that. And then also I encourage you, go find a church on Easter Sunday. There is no better time to go to church and experience the power and the love of Jesus than on Easter. That there is a feel-good moment. Until we talk again, be safe and God bless.